name's Angela, and I just acquired a 2010 Spirit Deluxe Casita, and I'm excited to show you some of the renovations and changes we've made. One thing I'll start with is that I noticed these were yellowing pretty significantly because it is a little bit older, and so I was able to get some of this great stuff at my local hardware store, Flex Seal. It's white. Be careful with it, it sticks to everything, but it's like a rubberized spray paint, and it went right over it, and I think it really helped change up the discolored yellow. I didn't spray under here because this is a vent and I wanted it to be able to move. So that's one first tip that I want to show you about our little casita. So come on inside. And as we come in, you can see that we have put in new flooring. It had the old blue carpet. And what we did was we installed a floating floor over that carpet. And then with the trim, we didn't want to take off the trim because it was so hard to install. So we ended up actually just using a gray flexible caulk that really kind of tied it together and trimmed it out without as much of the stress of unscrewing all those parts and pieces. So come on in. We've also painted all our cabinets, and I can show you what kind of paint we used, but this was sort of a game changer because it really did lighten up the space, and I love how it came out. This is a really durable paint we've used, and I think it's going to be very helpful as the kids and everybody just kind of hangs out in this space. So I'm really excited about that. This was one thing that maybe I shouldn't have done, but I'm just gonna use an additional cutting board. But I painted that, and maybe it won't be quite as effective as a cutting board, but I like how it looks. Another thing that I've changed in the casita is I've installed some sticker tiles. I got these off Pinterest. I love them. There's a million patterns, and you can choose them to stylize with whatever you're into. So I really think that's a great way to change up your space and make it look really cute. And then the thing that I did that I'm most proud of, because I'm not a seamstress, is I recovered all the cushions. And like I said, I'm not a seamstress, so this isn't incredible work. You can see it's not perfect, but it was super helpful to use YouTube, and I used the Sailrite how to make box corner video, and I was able to make box corners for all these cushions. It came out really easily and tightly, and I really like how even the zippers and everything just work really well. And I actually just covered the old cushion just for the structure underneath it. So these are just some of the upgrades that I've made to my little 2010 casita, and I can show you just a little bit more for anybody who's still interested in learning a little bit more about the 2010 casita. It has a bathroom. So one other change that we've made to our little casita, and granted we're not professional carpenters, is that I installed a base shelf. This I found actually not to be that challenging. I used cardboard to make a template. And then what I've done is I've drilled in 3 holes so that I can put the table legs in those holes. And then I use this for the pole that supports our awning when we're not in use and using those tables. So this just made this more usable space. So we can store stuff you don't need to get to. Those are those tire covers. And yet it holds something a little higher up so we can put a shelf on it or put just our luggage or our clothing. So that's a starter. One other little thing that I discovered, when you're putting things on the fiberglass, you can't drill into it, obviously, but sometimes you want to be able to hang something like this little shelf. So I found sticker screw holes that you can use, and that way you can hang something like this little shelf right. So one other thing I thought I'd tell you about is repainting your cabinets. I found some really durable cabinet grade paint from Sherwin-Williams, and I really like the color I used. It's called French Gray, classic French Gray, and this is in the Emerald product that they sell, so it's really durable and it's scrub proof. So the only trick is that it takes some time to dry, and what I found with painting my casita cabinets was we took them all off and replaced all the hinges. And in doing so, when you paint them, you have to be really careful because they get fingerprints really easily in the first several days. They take 7 days to cure. So I recommend if you're going to paint them, enough time for it to really cure and dry before you have to install them. Otherwise you'll have fingerprints all over your cabinets. Another tip that I could give you is if you are going to take off all your cabinets, I recommend leaving the hinge on the actual casita framing and just taking it off of your cabinet door. We made the mistake of taking them out completely, which meant we replaced them all, which was really nice because after 10 years they got a little rusty. But if you don't want to have to do that much work, it's so much easier to just leave the base part of your hinge on the framing and just take off the door. So stay tuned. I'm gonna document some more of my experience with having a casita. I'm brand new to this whole RV thing, and I'm nervous about figuring out the black water. But I'll make a video about it, so check it out on my channel.